Episode 2 of the Paddock the Goals, and we're into the third term. I'd like to introduce Joe Baird from Rural Financial Counselling Service. We've been hearing about the good work that Rural Financial Counselling Service has been doing in Paddock, and it's great to partner with Joe's team to roll out the Paddock Run initiatives in December last year. So to spread that word around financial counselling and support available for businesses and primary producers. Good afternoon, Joe.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Travis.
Tell us a bit about the work that Rural Financial Counselling Service does.
Rural Financial Counselling Service offer free, independent and obviously always confidential outreach support, outreach being the key word, support to our rural communities and particularly more so our farmers and small businesses. And we've taken the whole holistic approach now where we can actually offer wellbeing service as well. We usually find that people who are often in financial distress or needing help with, pulling together their plans and aspirations for their small business often need that wellbeing support as well. So we offer the three-pronged service, which is fabulous for our region.
Terrific. And can you give us a bit of an overview about the impact of the floods and how this work you're doing is helping the community now to adapt strategies to better prepare for the future?
Yeah, thanks, Travis. And I think the most important thing that people remember is our service providers or our staff members, being our counsellors, actually live in the communities where we represent or where we service. So the best part about our teams is that they're already known, they've already got a trusted and respected relationship with people in those communities. So when we have an issue as a disaster, whether that be flood or fire, or whatever other event that could be, particularly with the different ups and downs of particularly of agricultural communities, our service providers are actually there to help, and it can be for a short term. There's no end date for when the clients can actually work with our counsellors. So the best thing is, as I said, is they're there already, ready to go, and can provide that outreach service.
Are grants that are available a big part of what you do and what you can make them aware of?
The government often in their good wisdom will say we've got these grants available for people who've been impacted, especially when natural disasters are declared, and that often happens when there's been a significant disaster. And we've seen a lot of those in recent times, whether it be through flood and fire. And they say, look, we've got these grants available, but when people are in distress or they just don't have the ability to sit down and go through a whole grant process or an application process, it's often the last thing they're wanting to do. And whether that be emotionally, they're often not ready, they've been traumatised or they're highly impacted. And last thing, particularly for farmers, they just need to get back to doing their work. So the last thing we're finding people want to do is sit down and have to go through this application process and also not knowing if they're even going to get anything at the end of it. So are they eligible? So our team can sit down with the client and actually go through that and actually help prepare and fill out that application. So we're finding that's a major part of the work we're doing at the moment. We've got nearly almost 1,000 clients that our team are working with who have been flood impacted in recent events. It's really significant. So our team are out there working really hard. But the other thing is we've advocated really strongly to the government to keep those flood applications, all those flood impact applications going on. We've been able to get them extended. So it's enabling people that little bit longer time to, get all their impact statements and everything prepared and ready to be part of that application process. So we have advocated for that, and thankfully the state government have listened and have extended that time frame.
Yeah, and we'll run through a bit of that information shortly. But are you getting a good sense that the sector is aware of what's available to them and that they might be eligible for something when they think they might not be in the work you've been doing?
Sometimes we're our own worst enemies. Like we think, oh no, there's someone else that's far worse than us. So often people naturally think they're not entitled. So that's why we encourage people to at least ask the question. And even where I am down in the southwest of Victoria, we may not have had the significant floods that happened further at north. Although one of the communities that I represent, I'm in local government myself at Corangamite Shire Council, and one of our communities was heavily impacted by floods. But a lot of the farming community were too, but they thought they wouldn't have been eligible because they weren't in those highly flooded prone areas. And that's not the case. So all they often need is that education and that support, that step-by-step hand-holding whilst that we help them with the process.
So for information about farm support, get on the website and visit agriculture.vic.gov.au/floods. There is also a comprehensive list of flood support available on Shire Council's website. So as Joe mentioned, they've been extended to the 13th of July of this year, and those grants are the Primary Producer Flood Recovery Grant, the Rural Landholders Grant, Flood Recovery Transport Support Grant, Primary Producer Flood Recovery Concessional Loans. The Rural Financial Counselling Service is available to assist primary producers to understand and apply for these. So thanks for the great work you're doing in that space, Joe. There are other grants open as well, so please have a look at the websites and inform yourself with that. Jump on the Rural Finance website as well. Give them a call, 1-800-260-425, and get in contact with Joe or any of her fantastic team. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Joe?
Yeah, look, to be honest, Travis, I've myself have lived experience through disaster. I was a mayor for 3 years, and during my time we had significant fires in my community. And the recovery of such disasters is not something that happens in 24 hours or straight away after the event. So I guess my message is to the communities that have been affected, and particularly of Bull Oak, is that it is a real journey. They'll probably get sick of hearing that, but often we think, things on the ground are actually looking better, but people don't realise there's still things happening in the background. And that's where, I guess, the beauty of our service, I rate it so highly. I was privileged to work alongside these people during our fire recoveries, and just seeing the incredible support that they were able to give people that were impacted by the fires. They don't just walk away after 24 hours. They're there for the long haul. As I said, they're there to help people through some really troubled and traumatising times. But as I said, these things don't just happen overnight. It can be 12 months down the track that you might find you're still going to need that support from the service, and that's what they're there to do. So I can't speak highly enough of the fact that it's outreach and that they can actually go to the client. So as I said, our farmers, they're pretty stubborn, as we know, and they don't like leaving the farm if they don't have to. And I guess the biggest thing for us is the well-being of those people. And we know with the recent weather events, I think this is going to unfortunately become a bit of the norm, and our communities we need to be looking after ourselves and building up that resilience of helping each other out and knowing that we need to be prepared for the unexpected. And unfortunately we have to, we don't want these things to happen again, but it's probably highly likely that we are going to see future disasters. So if we can equip ourselves within that prevention space and actually have those relationships already built with such services, then to me it just makes all that easier work when something does happen. They've already got that relationship built and they already know how to start their recovery process.
Thanks for the great work that you and all the rest of the Financial Counselling Service are doing, Joe, and thanks for spending some time with us today on the Paddock the Goals.
Thanks, Travis. Appreciate it.
And you can find the Rural Financial Counselling Service just by searching them online or give them a call on 1300 771 741.